So, we've reached it, the final level of the letter V 6 times. Everybody's been rescued, except, of course, Captain Viridian. And, of course, this looks a lot like an intermission, but it is the final level, and you can see some of the elements that we've faced before are coming back to haunt us. So, this puzzle, for example, very similar to one that we did for a trinket in the laboratory, but now it's just an ordinary part of the level. The challenge has increased quite a bit, and these things from Space Station 1, that's a lot more challenge than it was the first time. One of the unfortunate things about this playthrough is I've seen it before, and in the final level, much of the challenge, unfortunately, comes from surprises in the screen transitions. Hold left a little bit too long, and unfortunately you're dead. I think there's a little bit too much of that here. And I think there's a little bit too much reliance on having to learn the trick to different rooms, and take a lot of deaths in doing so. Of course, this trick, probably a little bit easier to anticipate. But it's hardly sporting if we don't go through that at least once. And again here, I want to demonstrate, I don't think you should be penalized for holding left just a little bit too long going into Bewitched. It doesn't seem like very good design to me. But if you pause for a little bit, you can use some of the skills that you gathered before in the laboratory. And you can see that the gaps are narrower than they were in similar puzzles, so overall, the difficulty increases, aside from the surprises, in a really cool way. It's just a little bit tighter, and you probably at this point have better control over your character, so it can be more fun too. And this is a room you can't escape from, so it looks like we have to take a look at what's going on in the middle here. I love the visual here. Whatever's going on is coming from that TV. Are you sure that's a good idea? Yeah, stability generator, right? I guess he's just sort of collected random shiny things. Why would he not push a button if it presented itself? Alright, let's see what happens. Oh dear. I love the design of that moment. It's really cool. The music dropping and the screen doing things that it's never done before. Just brings this game to a really cool conclusion. Here, for example, I really like the fact that the colors are changing. The music even reminds you of the tower, so you feel like you have to hurry. And hurrying is actually a really bad idea. So it can put this pressure on you, even when the room's design itself doesn't. But with most of these puzzles, it's better to stutter step at least a little bit, or to size it up if you can. And unfortunately with that puzzle you can't. The moment you enter the room, you're in danger. But here, you'll notice a little bit more of a stuttering motion is probably the way to go. But you don't get much of a chance to spy on that room because, again, you're in danger the moment you get in, just like this one. It's really frustrating in some ways, but really exciting. I like the way that the adrenaline factor comes into play in the final level. Also, hooray! Earthworm Jim 2 reference! Panic Room is such a good name for this part, just because it's not even as dangerous as some of the harder parts of the tower. It just puts you in a panic because you're not expecting the scrolling. It's a really good way of integrating that into the overall theme of the final level. And this part's a little bit more difficult to get out than it is to get in. And this room is no joke. You have to skip some platforms that look like they'd be safe, but really are just waste of time. And this last spike, if you don't hesitate a little bit, you are just going to run your face right into it. So it can be really irritating, but overall, I think it's fair. You can see that coming a little bit and anticipate it. So it's an appropriate challenge for the last level. There we go. There's all the trinkets. So you will finish the game with at least one. And okay. We might be here a while. Okay, the game's complete. We just presumably float in space for however long it takes to run into an asteroid and then be able to maybe flip back? 102 deaths. That's actually close to an achievement that you can get for under 100. And there was no hardest room. It didn't exist. It glitches out sometimes. I'm pretty confident it's the Gravitron. Anyway, this is a really appropriate and good final challenge to the game. A little bit too much on the surprise side, but overall a really good final level. And I'm just going to let you watch the ending, and I'll be back at the end to tell you what's coming next. Two things that I really love about the ending. One is the music has callbacks to all the level music, which is just gorgeous. The soundtrack is amazing. Get it. The other part is this picture here is a really great callback to the genre. I just think it's so great. Just all the little touches are here. But that's it for the main playthrough. We'll be going through a couple of other things the next time, including some things that you can do after the game's all over, and some things that you can see after you've collected all 20 trinkets. So we'll cover a lot of ground and some bonus footage that'll come next time.